Problems in life are inevitable, but our reactions either weigh us down or make us stronger. This was the question on the mind of a young man who approached a Zen master to find relief from his troubles. What did he learn? Let's find out in this story. In a quiet mountain village, nestled between misty peaks and dense forests, lived an old Zen master, Haku. He was renowned for his wisdom, and people came from far and wide to seek his guidance. His presence was like a still lake, calm, unwavering, and always reflecting reality. One day, a young man named Kenta arrived at Haku's door. He was suffering from grief and anxiety. His business had collapsed, his family had abandoned him, and he felt that the whole world was against him. He had come from far away in search of peace. Haku smiled and welcomed him into the garden, where cherry blossoms were dancing in the wind. "Master," Kenta said, "I have lost everything. My life is full of suffering, and I can't see a way out. How can I find peace when everything around me is negative?" Haku listened patiently, then stood silently and led Kenta to the river that flowed near the village. The water was calm and reflected the blue sky. "Look at the river," said Haku. "Tell me, what do you see?" Kenta looked at the water and replied, "I see the reflection of the sky and the trees." Haku picked up a large stone and dropped it into the river. The water rippled, and the reflection distorted. "What do you see?" Does not resist a stone, nor does it stop its fall. It simply lets the waves flow, and after a while peace is restored. You should do the same. Let go of your difficulties, do not hold on to them, because your true nature is also clear and peaceful like a river. Kenta pondered, but still had doubts. "Master, how can I be as calm as a river when my circumstances are so painful? How can I stop sadness from overwhelming me?" Haku motioned for Kenta to return to the garden. Once there, he picked up a handful of salt and handed it to Kenta. "Put it in a glass of water and drink it," Haku said. Kenta did so, but the water tasted very bitter, and he grimaced in disgust. Haku smiled and led him to a nearby lake. Then he gave Kenta more salt. "Now put it in the lake." Kenta poured the salt into the water, and it dissolved into the vast lake and disappeared. "Now drink the lake water," Haku said. Kenta filled his hands with water and drank it. The water was refreshing and pleasant. "Was it bitter?" Haku asked. "No," Kenta said. "The lake is very vast, so the salt didn't change its taste." Haku shook his head. "Your suffering is like salt. Its intensity depends on where you place it. If your mind is as narrow as a small glass, even a little pain will destroy you. But if you widen your heart and thoughts like a lake, troubles will not affect you. Instead of a glass, become a lake." A light of understanding shone in Kenta's eyes. He knew that his difficulties had not really changed, but if he could widen his thoughts, he could free himself from their captivity. As he prepared to leave, he asked one last question. "Master, is there any way I can escape suffering forever?" Haku laughed. "No one can find complete freedom from suffering, just as a river cannot escape stones. But if you stop resisting, accept the flow, and widen your heart, suffering will not rule you. This is the path of Zen." Now there was a new light in Kenta's heart. Although his world had not changed, his perspective had. He went back to the village, and for the first time he felt peace within himself. And so the river flowed, the lake remained in its vastness, and the cherry blossoms danced in the wind, as they always did.